guiding light is all I know. Through wood and steel, through fire and lace, I'm blessed to walk within your grace. Am fein is to a throig arcane. You laid the path before me, you guided every step. Raise the hammer, string the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sure to find it empty, our greatest fear. By the grace of the goddess we are free. We'll build the land, our hearts within. From dawn till dusk I work, I strive. With your blessing I'll survive. The loom, the forge, the sword, the grain in your name, I rise again. Futsa and Nirt, Futsa and Chiel, got Bua, got Tolan, got Trio. In you lies strength, in you lies skill, each victory, each talent, each trial. Great, no skill too small. Your gifts, dear goddess, guide us all. Dandu sholas, mila truar. Achledunaim, fade our nights into force. Without your light, we have no guide. But with your hand, our place abide. String the bow, her gift is all I need to know. Through toil and trial, through heart and hand, her grace builds up this mighty land. Is the grass the dead time it's sore to find it unteared, our greatest deed. By the grace of the goddess we are free. We'll build the land, our hearts within. To walk within your grace, blessed by her grace, forever, forever.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Stay Search for Steel, where we try to answer the questions in life. No, just kidding. Although we do play PAX Day and go over really cool topics like tonight. We widen the lens exploring the mirror effect through the wisdom of philosophers, behavioral science, and lived experience. How does feedback shape our character? Is it a force for clarity or confusion? From ancient Stoics to the rise of social media, we'll examine how feedback, self-reflection, and the opinions of others shape who we are, and how we can find balance amid the endless reflections. So settle in, grab your notebook, and let's step up into the mirror and into PAX Day. And my guild is doing stuff, or clan, excuse me, and this is our current clan area. We have a little bit, this is not the finished product, this is more, let's stage everything for triage, get everything up to snuff, and then we'll build to a nice specification. Maybe a longhouse, a tavern. I know a couple of them are building taverns, and we have a marketplace down at the end of the road. So, lots to do in PAX Day, and right now I have to build another area down here. And that's what we'll do while we're talking about the the mirror effect, if you will. So consider some of the broader perspectives on this mirror effect. Humans have long been aware of this interplay between self and feedback. And throughout histories, thinkers have offered some contrasting advice. On the one hand, we have discussed many argue that the feedback from others is indispensable for personal growth and self-knowledge. We've already invoked Cooley's looking glass self, the idea that our very identities are entwined with others' perceptions. Social scientists today observe the same phenomena on new platforms. For example, the rise of social media means we now face an ever-increasing number of mirrors. As one analysis put it, with every like, comment, or viewing serving as a form of social feedback shaping our sense of self. If you post a piece of art online and it's met with enthusiasm, you might gain confidence and steer more toward art. If it's met with silence, or trolling, you might doubt your abilities or change your style. Psychologically, we often over-identify with external feedback. It takes real effort to remind ourselves that criticism of a particular action is not a verdict on our worth as a person. Indeed, some great minds have warned about giving too much power to others' opinions. The Stoic philosopher and Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who had no shortage of public feedback in his life, noted with some irony, quote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own," unquote. It's a poignant observation. Even though we live inside our own skin and ultimately answer to ourselves, we often let the image of ourselves that lives in others' eyes dictate how we feel and who we become. This can be very dangerous, or dangerous. I hope it's very hyperbolic there. If we chase approval blindly, we risk becoming people pleasers, losing sight of our own principles or passions. If the apprentice in our story tried to get praise from every villager, changing his style each time someone new commented, he'd end up utterly confused about who he is as a craftsman. The challenge is balance. We should listen to feedback, yes, especially when it's given in good faith and when the source is knowledgeable or cares about it. But we should also have an internal yardstick, the inner compass of values and goals to ultimately guide our decisions. And remember, if you haven't seen them, I've done several episodes on the inner compass, and it's very poignant. I use poignant a lot now, I guess. It's very good to kind of go back and watch those episodes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a moment, because I need to craft I call it a lime kiln area. Why do I call it that? Well, because we need lime to do a lot of things nowadays, and we need charcoal, so we'll need both. However, what I need to do is craft, and let me grab the recipe for this: clay and sap. Oh, okay. So we're pretty good. What I want to try to do is line up everything as cool as possible. There we go. And figure out how I'm going to build these, because I built one iteration in the other what do we call it? Oh no! All right, so I'm going to need more wood beams. Is what I'm getting at. Okay. I usually what I did was I went with the fine wood beams, but honestly, since I'm building an area that doesn't need the resources of fine wood beams or heartwood, I'd be better served to do the normal planks and wood beams. All right, so Ampere offers his apprentice an ornate brass compass, a tool to find one's way. Let this guide you, he says, pressing the cool metal into the boy's palm. Not instead of your own judgment, but alongside it. This scene hopefully captures a beautiful middle ground, the compass symbolizing external guidance and feedback, helps the apprentice navigate, but it doesn't negate the need for the apprentice's own eyes and choices. In life, feedback from others can be like a compass bearing useful direction, but requiring interpretation. We have to decide if we're going to follow it and how. Some feedback may be off the mark or conflicting with our values. For example, one person's praise might encourage a behavior that another mentor warns against. Our society at large might reward something, fame, wealth, that your personal ethics question. This is where our earlier work on self-reflection becomes crucial. With a strong sense of self, we can evaluate feedback critically. This is a mirror showing, you can say to yourself, this is a mirror showing me a truth I need to face or a distortion I should be cautious of. So as one behavioral scientist finding suggests, not all feedback carries equal weight. We tend to, and rightly, take to heart input from those we trust and who understand us, and discount feedback from dubious sources. Moreover, we filter others' judgments through our own values. We don't automatically change unless that feedback aligns with a change we ourselves believe in. So think of an artist who receives mixed reviews on a new painting. One mentor says, "This piece lacks your usual energy," while a random online comment says, "This is garbage." Just trolling. The artist will likely give the mentor's critique careful thought. Perhaps their tone or color does not need reevaluation, while ignoring the rude internet troll entirely. This discernment is healthy. Feedback shapes our character best when it's constructive, well-informed, and given with care. That is the kind of feedback we should seek out and soak up. Conversely, feedback is meant, or if the feedback is mean-spirited or ignorant, it should be acknowledged for what it is and not allowed to derail our self-esteem. As the proverb goes, consider the source. And as I would add, consider the intent and consider your own heart. Use feedback as a tool for insight, not as an absolute definition of your being. We also have insight of modern behavioral science that too much focus on external feedback, right? Especially in its extreme forms like constant social media validation, which can lead to anxiety and fragile sense of self. If one lives for the next like or the next compliment, it's like staring into a funhouse mirror for your identity. The reflection is ever changing and often distorted. Studies on social media users have shown that this, quote unquote, hall of mirrors effect can create pressure to curate a cyber self that wins approval, sometimes at the expense of one's real well-being. The lesson we draw, once again, is to balance the mirrors. Take in reflections that help you grow or see yourself more clearly, but don't become lost in them. Keep a part of your vision for your own perspective, an inner confidence that isn't easily shattered by any single critique. All right, let me see if that's enough wood, and we'll build a little bit more, and then we're going to conclude the embracing the mirror effect. Let's see. Not the episode. This is just part one, essentially. There's a lot of stuff here. All right, so I'm going to go. If you hit Alt, you can kind of. It doesn't do a snap. So there you go, and then we should be able to. Whoa! Would help if I'm on the WSD. Okay. Let's get some more sapwood. So I'll need it for a couple different things. Here's where inventory control when you're building is imperative. You don't want to overload yourself because you're always going to need something or some room to be able to, for example, create a scaffolding. So I'll just do that. It's a scaffolding, so when I get up here, I can use my fast and hopefully get up here and I could center it probably, but I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. And what you want to do when you're building is you always want to take a look at it and see where you're, if I can get to each one, see the bigger circle, so I can get to both. Maybe, though, I want to take this back just a little bit. Because that was really far out. Let's see if that works better. Yeah, that'll work better, actually. Wow, I didn't realize that it was, yeah, it's fine. I think that's fine. So we'll take this and we'll expand on the pattern, right? Oh, and see right here is where that, oh, God. It's a, golly, tanning rack. So right now, I would like to put 6 there, but I can't. The good news is I can do that. Meaning, I already placed one, so I can place another one perfectly in line with that. So I don't have to try to measure it again, if you will. Oh, I did find wood beams. I'm so used to grabbing the fine wood beam one. There we go. Let's see if I can do this. Ah, so close. See how it keeps going up? And this is where you would use the scaffolding, honestly. It just makes it easier. I say scaffolding. This right now isn't better, but I do. There are ways to do scaffolding. All right, so we do this, and we'll bring that out. Again, we don't want the expensive stuff, right? Oh my gosh. I'm just losing it now. Fine. That's the one. There we go. And then I'll take this, and I will hopefully be able to. I'll need more wooden beams. All right, let's go grab that, and then we'll conclude this yourself as we're doing this. Neat. Okay. Really, I want to craft 7, so this is a good way of doing it. There's 9. Yeah, I'll craft all 9. There we go. All right. So as the first, let's. I'm going to draw you a picture. As the first light of morning spreads over the peaceful village, our young apprentice stands at the crossroad. compass in hand, in the distance, Emperor watches proudly as the young woman sets out. Her stride confident. The mirror effect will continue to shape this apprentice's journey. In every person she meets, who offers advice or opinion. In every success that signals you are on the right track. And every mistake that teaches time to pivot. So with and so it is with all of us, right? Feedback shapes our character, much like river shapes stones, gradually over time. Each bit of feedback, a drip of water, might seem insignificant alone, but collectively, these inputs smooth our rough edges, and reveal our patterns, and can even carve new paths for us. I'm looking at something because I think something went wrong with my script. Yay! Oh boy. I just totally screwed up my script. That's alright. Let's see where I am. So let's hold off on the conclusion. Sorry about that. But one of the things I wanted to go over tonight is throughout history, philosophers and sages from diverse traditions have recognized the power of feedback, though they use different terms. So let's travel around the world, and this is where I really wanted to go, and through time to gather some of this wisdom. What did the Stoics of Greece and Rome advise about criticism? How did Confucian or Buddhist teachings incorporate feedback in personal growth? And what about the African and Indigenous perspectives on community shaping the individual? And what do modern philosophers or social critics of Nietzsche, Foucault, I think it's French, or bell hooks add to our understanding? This is going to be really rich panorama. So let's take one philosophy at a time, because in all this, what we're talking about tonight is that mirror of self-reflection, right? However, it's also the mirror that provides us direct, how should I say it? It's a good way of saying it. How to interpret the outside aspects of feedback, right? So, Stoicism, embracing criticism and holding true to virtue. Virtue is a big part of ourselves, right? So, I want to make sure that everybody understands that if you haven't seen the virtue episodes, I wholeheartedly think it would be beneficial to you, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Let's see. There we go. All right. See? And then I just add these once I get play and sound. So let's go to the Stoicism here after I get some play and sound. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I have any chests. Oh boy. This is why I practice usually, but I didn't practice today. That's it. Pick it up. You make it better. Let's just set these real quick, and then we get into that Stoic. And I knew I clicked off of that way too fast. Ugh, I needed that thing. This. You can get really good at building and really fast at building in this game. And it's pretty cool. There it is. So there's 6. That's good for now. And then what I had in my other file was 8. But what I need is I need a bigger bigger one. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't have it. Interesting. I wonder if they. Oh, that's the basic. Okay, so let's hold off on the Stoics just for a second. I need to find out where my charcoal kiln is. There it is. I need charcoal, boiled leather, and short wood. So let's go get some boiled leather and short wood. Boiled leather. Wall of greatness. There's boiled leather. Another boiled leather. Maybe? Yes. And what I'll do is I'll put some of this away and I'll come back for it if I need it. Because I need boiled leather and I need I want to say it was shortwood. Shortwood stock and shortwood. And I know I have some shortwood stock somewhere around here. I do. So I'm gonna have to make one. And I got charcoal in my bag. Forever. Oh, there's a stag over. That's free meat every day. Let's see. Short stag. I think it's gonna do that. Okay. So imagine you're a Roman emperor. You wield immense power, and yet you strive to remain humble and virtuous. That was the challenge of Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher king. In his Meditations, which is essentially his private journal, Marcus often wrote about dealing with others' opinions. One of his bracing questions: if an action or utterance is appropriate, then it's appropriate for you. Don't be put off by other people's comments and criticism. If it's right to say, or if it's right to say or do, right to say or do it. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read a quote. I can't do it tonight for some reason. If it's right to say or do it, then it's the right thing for you to do or say. Man, he could have said that so much simpler. He probably did in Latin. In other words, don't let praise or blame derail you from doing what you know is right. Marcus also noted, almost with surprise, it never ceases to amaze me. Quote, this is a quote. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. Meditations, book 12, paragraph 4. Stoicism teaches us that we should focus on our own conscience and principles, what is in our control, and accept that others' reactions, which are outside our control, will come and go. Easier said than done, of course, but practically a Stoic would advise, when criticized, pause and examine.
If the critique is valid, use it to improve. Be grateful for the friend who helped you see the flaw. If it's not valid or given in bad faith, it should be ignored. No more troubling to you than a cold wind. Epictetus, another Stoic, put it this way: if evil is spoken of you and it's true, correct yourself. If it's a lie, laugh at it. This reflects the profound confidence and a refusal to be emotionally enslaved by either flattery or criticism. Stoics even saw insults as opportunities. One Stoic practice was to rehearse in advance the worst things people might say about you, to inoculate yourself against the hurt feelings. By preparing your mind and reminding yourself, words can't truly harm my character unless I let them. The feedback from others loses some sting. But Stoicism isn't about being closed off to feedback. It's quite the opposite. It's about filtering feedback through reason. Seneca, tutoring Nero, unfortunately with limited success, emphasized listening to counselors and critics to govern wisely, but also having the inner strength to do what virtue demands, even if when the crowd disagrees. A Stoic trait is humility, recognizing that we all have flaws. So when someone points out a mistake, a Stoic tries to react with ego, but to say, I should say, not to react with ego, but to say, thank you, I'll consider that. There's a recorded instance of Cato, a famous Stoic senator, who, upon overhearing people mocking him in the public baths for some eccentricity, reportedly smiled and said, "It's a good thing you know how others perceive him," or "it's a good thing to know how others perceive him," as it offers a chance to reflect. Stoicism prepared individuals to endure not just the physical hardships, but the social slings and arrows as well, by training themselves to value virtue over popularity. Stoics created the internal feedback. Am I living up to my own standards? That mattered far more than the external applause or jeers of the moment. And there's a Stoic saying that many of us might recall. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. I know it's a jingle, right? Little kid thing, but it's a Stoic saying. It really has some Stoicism in its roots. Where was I? I was building the kiln, right? Let me do this and we'll go into Confucianism. Let's see. Oh, here it is. I need charcoal. That's easy. Oh my goodness. That should do me. There it is. I just need one of the plants. Now I have the recipe. So now I can look at here and now I have this charcoal kiln. Basic. And then the big charcoal. Oh, I do need one plant per, so I might as well get another one. And go get double the bricks, I suppose. Now let's see, I need clay and bricks. I need 80 bricks. I should have plenty of clay at 100. And I'll go get bricks. I should put bricks back in the kiln as well. We're gonna need bricks. Alright, I'll do that right after this. Any clan, you wanna take care of everybody around you. So keep that in mind as you're doing the as a clan, you wanna take care of everybody. Oh, man, these things are big. I didn't think they were that big. That's huge. I thought they were smaller. Okay. That's all right. We will, let's see if I have enough to, make a walkway. And we'll put them on this side. Looks like I'm gonna have to have at least 6. Let's see if I can. Nice. I call it nice. Be nice. I don't know. There we go. Let's put that next to it. Oh my goodness. Oh, that gotta select it first. Trying to look to see. Okay, let's see if I can place this thing down. I don't need to play it. Oh my god. Why did that happen? I know why it happened, but it's like it's a glitch. Oh my god. I'm back up for it. And then we can put. God, look at that thing. That thing is freaking huge. That is. I gotta rethink that. There we go. How far back can I go? Alright, I have a little button on the side of my mouse that really lets me do fine-tune adjustments. Do that, and then I need to, maybe do this. I hate when, anyway, let's see if that works. Does that look good? It looks alright. It's alright. I'll do it that way. Honestly, I use way too much stone for this, but that's okay. Alright, let's, there we go. That's what I was looking to do. Running around with your hammer is, kind of sucks. Let's see. How's that over there? I don't understand. There we go. Alright, so brick is charcoal. Clay and charcoal, which I. As a matter of fact, I might do. Let's see what I got in my inventory. Golly, I'm just all over the place. And then we'll get to Confucian and the Eastern wisdom. The community mirror. Interesting concept, right? As a community mirror. It's definitely, like I said, the research on this was actually pretty cool. All right, so let's see, where do I want to put these? Can I put these over here? I probably can if I create more room. There we go. There we go. There it goes. Oh, wait, I need that. What we'll do is we'll put these over here. Parkour. There we go. I'll probably move them. But for now, I need clay and white charcoal. So let me do this real quick. We'll get back into it. There we go. I hate when I do that. There we go. And crap. I didn't leave enough room for charcoal. This is what I'm talking about. Then I'll do more charcoal. Ah, really? I'll put these on here for now. I'll put that there. There we go. There we go. Let's start this. Of course I'm gonna run out of charcoal. Usually you can calculate this, guys, but honestly, not that in-depth. Not that involved. There we go. Oh. I sometimes just pay to calculate, but I cannot. Actually do this. Let's see. Okay. Move some clay over. There we go. And I wonder if there's anything new in here. No, heartwood charcoal, which gives you a higher concentrated yield. Lime, yep, and charcoal. So, yep, same. Okay. Now we got a area where we can do that as a field. Okay, so let's talk Confucian. So we're moving to moving east to ancient China. We find Confucius and his followers deeply concerned with how people learn to become good. Confucianism is often described as a philosophy of social harmony and moral education. We've already seen Confucius's quote about finding a teacher among any three people walking together. The Confucian model of learning was very much based on feedback. A young person should respectfully heed parents and elders' guidance. Friends should remonstrate with each other in good faith. Rulers should accept criticism from honest ministers. A striking concept in Confucian culture is the importance of face, roughly social reputation or dignity. While on one hand, caring too much about saving face can hinder open feedback. Basically, nobody wants to embarrass or be embarrassed. Confucian actually advised leaders to accept remonstration. Meaning, or I say remonstration, better one is remonstrance. Remonstrance. I am totally off my game today. Sorry, everyone. Meaning, welcome the ministers who disagree with you. The great sage king, Yao, or I say Yao, it's probably Zhao, Xiao. It's Y-A-O, Chinese, I think it's Xiao. In legend, was praised for not being surrounded by yes men. He rewarded a courier who pointed out his failings to his credit. So the ideal was a benevolent hierarchy where feedback flows upward and downward appropriately, always with an eye on mutual improvement. Another facet, ritual and example. Confucian thought holds that people learn correct conduct by observing role models. So parents, teachers, elders, etc. and through ritualized feedback. For instance, a teacher might not scold a student outright to save face, but use subtle cues or questions to lead the student to see a mistake. It's a gentler feedback loop, but a loop nonetheless. The student, in turn, is expected to reflect on the criticism quietly, often through writing or meditation, and implement changes, thus demonstrating their virtuous character. Zooming out, many Eastern cultures, influenced by Confucianism, emphasize collectivism. The idea that, quote, I am fundamentally a relational being, unquote. A Chinese or Japanese proverb might say, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down, highlighting that the group often gives feedback to individuals to maintain harmony. This can be limiting in some ways. For instance, maybe too much conformity. But it also fosters a strong support network. If you go astray, you can expect someone, a family member or colleague, to gently bring you back in line. In a traditional village, feedback is one's behavior. Feedback is one's behavior was constant. God, I just can't do it tonight. Feedback on one's behavior was constant and communal. For better or worse, everyone's a bit in everyone else's business. The advantage, you're shaped by the collective values and kept accountable. The challenge, it can stifle individual expression or innovation of dissenting feedback where it could be suppressed. Confucius, however, valued righteous dissent. If a father is wrong, the son should respectfully point it out. If a ruler is unjust, the ministers must speak up. This is seen as loyalty of a higher order, giving honest feedback even when it's hard, because ultimately it helps the whole. From Confucianism, the takeaway is the idea that character is not developed in isolation. One becomes humane, Ren, human-hearted. Ren equals human-hearted, or becomes humane is the human-hearted humane. That's where we're kind of making the association. Through continuous social feedback, right? Observing the good in others to emulate it, and being open to correction without losing one's dignity. It's a two-way street of respect and improvement. As Confucius said, it's not the failure of others to appreciate your abilities. That should trouble you, but rather your failure to appreciate theirs. In other words, don't fixate on what other people are praising, or don't fixate on whether people are praising you enough. Focus on learning from and appreciating those around you. The mindset naturally makes one more receptive to feedback as a gift rather than an ego contest. We'll throw in Buddhism here, but let me see where I'm going. What do I need? Let's do some. 9 is one. There we go. Let's go get some sound. All right, Buddhism might not be. Basically, what we're doing is feedback in the form of self-awareness and compassionate truth. Buddhism might not explicitly talk about feedback in the modern sense, but it's deeply concerned with self-improvement and the role of others in our awakening. Buddha created the Sangha, the community of practitioners, in part so people could support each other's practice through example and gentle advice. One Buddhist concept is, I'm going to butcher this one, guys, Kalyana Mitta, or spiritual friend. This is someone who compassionately guides you, sometimes by pointing out your blind spots. A well-known saying in Buddhism is that a true spiritual friend is like a mirror in which you can see your own mind more clearly. There's a lovely metaphor also, polishing a mirror, right? This is a great metaphor. Enlightenment is said, it is said, right, is like polishing the dusty mirror of the mind so that it can reflect reality clearly. I had to wait for the tree to fall. So how do we polish it? Well, we practice, we have meditation, ethical living, and indeed criticism and challenges are seen as polishing agents. The 13th century Japanese Zen master Dogen wrote that engaging with difficult people or harsh circumstances is essential for training. They are, quote, grinding, unquote, your rough edges and ego. There's even a Zen story of a monk who was tasked to take care of an extremely irritable senior as a way of practicing patience. The senior's constant negative feedback was unpleasant, but ultimately taught the monk more equanimity and compassion. All right, let's go. Well, I thought I got the thing. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, my inventory is full. Really? Okay. Might have to put stairs there. All right, let's go put all this stuff away if I'm gonna start filling stuff. Give me a second because it's gonna take a moment. That's not what I was looking for. I was looking for 9. Alright, so if I go here, I can do that. I can take that. I can put those in there. I can put the lime in there. Whoa. Golly, I do that every time. Cast a spell when I don't want to. Makes sense. Want that clay goes over to here. I think I'm pretty good. Oh, leather. Leather right now. That's not leather. There we go. There we go. Now I can go chop some trees down. Got plenty of trees on property. Got a boar there too. Okay, so there's this concept called right speech, one of Buddha's ethical precepts. It includes guidelines for giving back or giving feedback. Speak at the right time, speak truthfully, speak gently, and speak with beneficial intent. So, a Buddhist approach is to giving feedback is to do it out of genuine care, not out of anger or pride. And for receiving feedback, Buddhism teaches non-attachment and mindfulness. If someone criticizes you, observe the feelings that arise. Maybe your pride hurts or you feel angry. Note them mentally, mindfully, without immediately reacting. This is similar to what modern psychologists advise. Take a breath. Don't let the amygdala hijack you into defensiveness. The Buddhist perspective adds, see if the criticism has truth. If yes, use it to lessen your ego and grow. If not, let it go like a cloud passing in the sky. A quote attributed to Buddha in the Pali Canon, quote, as a smith removes dross from silver, so the wise person removes their own impurities little by little, again and again. in a repeated effort, unquote. Now, while that is about self-correction, how do we identify those impurities in ourselves, right? That's the question. Often, through life's feedback, either introspection or someone pointing them out, kind criticism from wise people, given at the right time, is considered to be a great gift in Buddhism. A teaching says when someone admonishes you out of true goodwill, you should listen as if a trusted guide is showing you a hidden treasure. All right, let's hold off on that because I have to battle a boar real quick. Otherwise, he's going to attack me anyway. Where is he? Thought I saw him around here somewhere. I thought I saw him somewhere. Is he over there? Really? Did I miss that? There he is. I gotta get the I was crap. I didn't want to do that. It was a reflex, I swear. That's right, since we're doing this. Might as well get some skinning out of the way while we're here. I think you get 200 experience points per skin. And this is where math really is helpful. So if you look at my skinning, I'm at level 33, 150. And if I do 200 per, I got a long way to go to level 34. So every time there's a skin evolution, I'm going to do it. Or else I'm going to drop everything and just skin because of and we'll axe out again. There we go. Damn, this thing is really hard. Is it up in the air? Where'd it go? Interesting. It just like disappeared. Okay. All right. We'll do it. I'm going to have to increase them. All right. So let's go to contemplative practices themselves, right? Which can create an internal feedback. For example, in meditation, you notice the thoughts and feelings that arise. That's feedback from your mind, right? And you learn about your patterns. Oh, gosh. There. Do that. Hit number 7, which only gives me 20, and wait on it. Okay. So as I was saying, you learn about your patterns. So basically it's like I notice whenever someone praises me, I crave it more. When someone criticizes me, I stew in it for hours. How interesting. This self-awareness is feedback that can shape your character by allowing you to consciously cultivate more welcome or wholesome responses, like modesty and praise and calmness and criticism. There's also a specific Buddhist practice in some traditions. Periodically, let me. Periodically, monasthetics gather to confess faults to each other in a circle. This exists in Catholic monasticism, as well. It's done not to shame, but to keep everyone humble and accountable. A formal feedback ritual where you own up to the mistakes and community accepts and supports your improvement, right? This practice underscores the principle that acknowledging criticism or feedback openly is a strength and not a weakness. So, in summary, on Buddhism offers an inward-looking mirror polished by both self-reflection and passionate feedback from others. It teaches us to approach feedback without ego, neither clinging or to praise nor resenting critique, and to speak feedback with compassion. As one Buddhist teacher put it, quote, "When we truly care about someone's growth, we must sometimes give difficult feedback. Done in love, this is a form of generosity." That aligns with the modern ideas like radical candor, which we'll discuss a little bit later. And so caring personally while challenging directly is what we're looking to do. All right, where am I? Let's go over here. Did I get any heartwood from that one? Yeah, I got some heartwood. I'm just randomly doing this. So Ubuntu in African philosophy. So if you think about it, not if you think about it. A person is a person through other persons. And that's the Ubuntu African philosophy. Shifting to this continent, we encounter the beautiful concept of Ubuntu, originating from the Bantu language of South Africa, or Southern Africa, I should say. Ubuntu is often translated as "I am because we are," or "a person is a person through other persons." In Xhosa, they say Ubuntu, Nugamuntu, Nagabuntu. In Zulu, it's Ubuntu, Ungamnabutu, Ungamnatu, Nagabutu, or Nagabantu, meaning literally that one's humanity is affirmed and shaped in community. This worldview sees individuals as inextricably, I can't talk today. Inextricably, thank you, linked to others. So how does that relate to feedback? Well, in every way, literally. If who I am is partly constituted by my relationships, then feedback from those around me is a defining force of my character. Archbishop Desmond Tutu explained Ubuntu by saying, quote, "Each individual's humanity is ideally expressed in relationship with others," unquote. And that each of us needs to be seen, affirmed, and corrected by our community to truly become ourselves. In practical terms, traditional African societies often emphasize communal discussion, consensus, and communal correction. For instance, among some peoples, if someone did wrong, elders would gather with that person in a circle, not punish them in a retributive way, but to discuss what happened, how the person's actions hurt others, and how to reintegrate them. That's feedback as a form of healing and growth. It's quite the opposite of the anonymous courtroom judgment. This is very personal and rooted in the idea that we want you to be the best you because you are one of us. Ubuntu perspective is inherently optimistic about feedback. It assumes a shared goodwill that the community corrects you because it loves you, and that you accept the correction because you love the community and you see your own well-being tied to it. It's akin to how the family might operate. If your sibling messes up, you can tell them off, but out of love, and you still stand by them. And if they achieve something, you all celebrate because it reflects on everyone. Feedback is less individual, my critic versus me, and more collective. We're all mirrors reflecting each other, polishing each other. Modern African philosopher John Mbiti famously phrased it as, quote, "I am because we are, and since we are, therefore I am," unquote. This implies that my identity emerges from the feedback loop between me and my community, a continuous exchange of values, support, and yes, criticisms. If I do something praiseworthy, the community's praise reinforces that trait in me. If I do something harmful, the community's disapproval corrects me, and I learn. The ultimate goal is not individual victory, but harmony and strength of the group, which in turn benefits each individual. One thing Ubuntu teaches the world about empathy and One thing Ubuntu teaches the world is about empathy and perspective taking. It encourages seeing yourself in others. So in giving feedback, an Ubuntu approach might say, I am telling you this because your failing is my family. We share humanity. If you steal or lie, it hurts us, all of us. And it's out of character for the good person I know you are. Likewise, receiving feedback, one might think, this person correcting me is not my enemy. They are me in another form, helping me. It's a profoundly interdependent way to frame feedback. In leadership, African philosophy often emphasizes consultation, the idea that a chief should listen to the counsel and voices of the people. There's a proverb, quote, wisdom is like a baobab tree. No one individual can embrace it. If you ever seen a baobab tree, they're huge. Meaning it takes a village to grasp the truth. We need each other's input or feedback to see the whole picture. This is essentially a statement about cognitive feedback loops. No single perspective is sufficient. We must feedback into each other's understanding. We can tie Ubuntu to psychology. Modern research on social identity shows that having a strong communal identity can boost self-esteem and psychological well-being. In gaming communities or any other group, when you get feedback as a valued member of, quote, us, it's often easier to accept. That jives with Ubuntu. The more you feel, quote, we are in this together, the more constructive feedback feels like help rather than an attack. To sum up Ubuntu's wisdom, character is a common project. Feedback is not an external add-on to personal growth. It's the medium through which personal growth happens because personhood is in itself defined socially. Or, as one scholarly interpretation put it, quote, a person's humanity is dependent on itself, is defined socially. Or, as one scholar, a person's humanity is dependent on the appreciation, preservation, and affirmation of other persons' humanity. To be a person is to recognize that my subjectivity is in part constituted by other persons with whom I share the social world. It's a powerful statement, if I said it uninterrupted, you probably think so as well. I'm just tongue-tied tonight. Your very self is formed by appreciating others and being appreciated or corrected by them. And we'll go into Western modern thinkers here soon. Let me grab another tree. Yep. All right. I might leave this for tomorrow, starting at Western modern thinkers. So where are we? We're at an hour. There's so much information here. So let's start that tomorrow. Sorry about that. I got tongue-tied tonight. So give me some feedback, hopefully constructive, in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe if you did like the content, even though I screwed it up like left and right tonight. But that's okay. I've learned from that screw up, right? And that's okay. I really want to know what this tree does. And it takes forever to cut down. Kind of curious. See how it goes. Just lies up. They had this problem in verse 2. They fixed it, but it's reappearing. Heartwood sapling. So it's not really worth it. It's just a hard freaking tree. Hoping to get some resin as well. I haven't gotten resin yet. I'm guessing it's in this little tree. I'm hoping it's this little tree. Not yet. There's gotta be a way to get resin, more resin than just what we're getting. There it is. One resin. Sucks. You need a lot of resin for fletching, so a lot of resin for fletching. All right, so let's end it there. I'll be chopping a tree while we're ending it. But thanks for joining me again. Sorry about the screw up. I will improve by tomorrow because tomorrow's the next episode, and we'll start with modern thinkers. Nietzsche, Foucault. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Maybe I'll find out for tomorrow. And Hooks on power and reflection. So until then, like, share, subscribe, check out my videos on my YouTube channel. I do a lot of content. I did a little hour run of Enshrouded today. I think I did pretty good on the comment side. There, I just talk about what I'm doing in the game and just random topics. I don't really have any in-depth, deep topics that like today. So please enjoy that content, and I do shorts, a lot of shorts. I like to. There's a couple different ones that I do that are mostly about this subject matter that we go over here. I try to disseminate that information as much as possible because it's so hard to go over this content in any meaningful I should say any meaningful in any there's just a ton of content, let's just say it that way. All right, where am I going? Let's go put this away. All right. So until tomorrow, I hope you have a good night. Have a good day. We'll enjoy the outro. Again, one of my first songs I made in Suno AI. With like I said, I collaborate on the musical instrumental direction, and I also do the I try to give it a push, but it does all the composition. But I do a lot of lyric and adjustments to the lyric if I have the AI help me rhyming with a word that I'm like, how am I gonna do this? I'm stuck. It does pretty good, I thought. But anyway, enjoy. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
With every step, a lesson learned. From fire's heat to the fields I've turned. The blade and bow, the forge and flame. I sharpen my skills, I play the game. Each day brings a challenge I must face. I train my hands with careful grace. From alchemy's art to the hunter's way, I'll find the strength to seize the day. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. From the herbs I find to the iron I mold, each lesson learned is a story told. The stars above, they guide my hand. As I hone my craft, I take my stand. In the quiet woods, in the mountains chill, I push myself, I shape my will. With each new tool and every lore, I'm stronger now than I was before. I carve my path, I walk the line, in the shadow of the ancient sign. Through trial and toil I'll find my way, learning more with each passing day. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight. The road is long, but I won't turn back. The lessons I learned keep me on track. With each new skill, the stronger I grow. In the face of the storm, I let my courage show. I've tasted defeat, I felt the sting, but I rise again with each new spring. For knowledge is power, and wisdom the key. I'm forging my path, I'm breaking free. The skill of survival, the will to thrive, in a world where the strong survive. I'll face the night, I'll take the chance. I'm ready to fight, to learn to dance. For every strike and every fall, I'm building my strength, I'm standing tall. In the heart of the wild and the calm of the night, I gather my skills, I'm ready to fight.